With the biggest gaming event of the year coming closer and closer with E3 2018, we are getting more clarity on what we can expect from the big event, and we've got huge news concerning Sony with PlayStation as well as Bethesda. So we'll be covering that. On top of that, Eidos Montreal has spoken out about single-player games and how they have to try new models. That's thanks to games industry, and then we'll also be covering an excellent PlayStation 4 game sale that's going on Newegg right now. A lot of games have their price slashed by 50%, so you'll definitely want to take advantage of that if there are any games of interest to you, and I'm sure there are at least a few. First, let's talk about E3 2018, which we've gotten a lot of clarity on. First, let's talk about Sony and PlayStation. This might disappoint some of you guys. They will be having a press conference. However, the way that they're wording it lends us to believe that there will be no new first-party game announcements. Here's what they said in the new blog post by Sean Layden. Quote, "In a rare break from tradition, we wanted to give you an early glimpse at what to expect heading into the showcase on June 11th. PlayStation's worldwide studios will be at E3 in full force to provide you with an exclusive look at 4 upcoming titles: Death Stranding from Kojima Productions, Ghost of Tsushima from Sucker Punch, Marvel's Spider-Man from Insomniac Games, and The Last of Us Part 2 from Naughty Dog." He continued by saying, quote, "Of course, we'll have stellar announcements from third-party publishers and independent developers who are all busy devising innovative new experiences that will make your heart race and your emotions soar. So whether you're playing on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 4 Pro, or PSVR. Stay tuned to PlayStation Blog to learn a bit more about what's in store as we count down to June 11th and another exciting E3 season. The journey begins Monday, June 11th, starting at 6 p.m. Pacific time, that's 9 p.m. Eastern. He ends the post by saying, quote, "Will you join us?" So by the wording of this post, again, it lends me to believe that we'll be seeing Death Stranding, which is very exciting. We'll be seeing Ghost of Tsushima, again, very exciting. Marvel Spider-Man, I don't know, we just got a huge info drop on that game, so I'm not so eager to see more of that at this point, considering the September release isn't too far away, but still, that's a great game to show off, and The Last of Us Part 2 is a very exciting game as well, but if you're expecting those big E3 surprises, you might not be getting that. Of course, if they do have gigantic surprises, they're not gonna outright say we're gonna have a lot of surprises, but them just outright telling us what games are gonna be there, again, as it's even stated in the blog post, that's a break from what they typically do. We are also obviously gonna have a lot of third-party content and content from indie devs. And the games that will be there in Death Stranding, Ghost of Tsushima, and The Last of Us Part 2, we don't know all too much about those games, so just getting more information on those titles is very exciting in its own right. However, E3 has always been a stage for colossal surprises, so if I don't get at least 1 or 2 of those, I'll be a little bit disappointed. But still, the games that they're promising us already will be very exciting. Can we get some information on the Final Fantasy VII Remake as well? I know Square Enix does their own thing, but that'd be great to see at the conference as well. So that'll be at 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern on Monday, June 11th, so be excited for that. And also, we've got a very interesting tweet from Pete Hines, the Senior Vice President of Global Marketing at Bethesda. He said, quote, "Hashtag Bethesda showcases in 1 month. I'm starting to get excited. We have a lot to show you this year. Might be our longest E3 showcase ever. Not sure, but it's packed. Hashtag BE3. So honestly, personally speaking, I was a little bit disappointed from the Bethesda conference last year. Yes, Wolfenstein 2 did look great, and it turned out pretty good, but I think the majority of us really need that Bethesda open world title, whether it be Skyrim, whether it be Fallout, to get really excited with Bethesda. But if they show me a Dishonored 3, even a Rage 2, which is being heavily rumored, that'd be pretty exciting as well. But I do think they need to cap it off with at least a new Elder Scrolls teaser or something of that sort to get gamers really excited. As far as the exact E3 schedule goes, Saturday, June 9th, we have the EA conference. Sunday, June 10th, we have Microsoft and Bethesda. Monday, we'll have Square Enix, Ubisoft, and Sony, and then Tuesday is rounded out by Nintendo. So that's everything you have to get excited for. Moving on from that, Eidos Montreal has a very interesting interview with GamesIndustry.biz. Eidos Montreal, of course, is working on Shadow of the Tomb Raider, so they are heavily invested into single-player experiences. But as we mentioned before, Shadow of the Tomb Raider is a game that's also got a lot of DLC content, and that kind of goes hand in hand with boss David Unfossey saying we have to try new models for our single-player games. Exactly, he said this, quote, "We're starting from scratch. We have demolished everything because we have to grow up in size. After 10 years, we wanted the studio to reflect the image of what we create. We are adding 100 stations and developers because at the moment we have 3 big productions going on at the same time." Continuing, he said, "It's a question of maybe trends or moment or timing. Every year there is a new trend. At the moment it's Fortnite, which is a great game, and all the attention is around these kinds of games, but we just have to wait. I don't want to change a Deus Ex game or experience. We want to be respectful to that. So that is really interesting, and I think that goes hand in hand to what we've seen about Shadow of the Tomb Raider. While I'm very excited for that game, I am also very disappointed at how much DLC that game is having tacked on. I understand that these games are very expensive to develop, but that game is just getting an insane amount of DLC, and we know about the DLC 4 months prior to that game's release. That's a little bit ridiculous in my opinion, but considering that games are costing north of $100 million to produce, in some instances it is understandable, but I know it does disappoint me quite a bit. And finally, I just want to quickly go over this great Newegg PlayStation 4 game sale. I'll leave a link down below in the description box, and you might think all these games are their retail price. Well, if you have a valid email, you can actually use a promo code to knock off 50% on all of the games listed. This includes titles like Attack on Titan 2 for $29.99. You can pick up the Inside of Limbo double pack for $9.99, which is actually a little bit more expensive than it's recently been, but still a great deal. How about Dissidia Final Fantasy NT for just $24.99? Overwatch for $29.99, that's your typical price. Star Wars Battlefront 2 for $19.99. Wolfenstein 2 The New Colossus for $19.99, that's a great deal. Final Fantasy 15 Royal Edition for just $24.99, that's an awesome deal. They did have Titanfall 2 in stock for just $4.99. Unfortunately, that's out of stock, as is The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Complete Edition, but some great deals nonetheless. FF15 Royal Edition for $24.99, man, that's a great deal and a ton of content for your money. Wolfenstein The New Colossus continues to go south and south in price. I think $19.99 is the cheapest it's been, so that's a great deal as well. Again, link for that in the description box down below. And that is going to conclude this one. Let us know your thoughts. Are you excited for Sony's E3? Again, Monday, June 11th, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be a great show. Pete Hines of Bethesda is saying that this might be their biggest and longest E3 showcase ever. That one's going to be packed. What do you think about Eidos Montreal saying that they have to try new models for single-player games? Are you not buying it? Let us know your opinions on that, and make sure to check out those great PS4 game deals over on Newegg. Some good stuff to get over there. Sound off with your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.